Hey guys, welcome back to part 7 of coding asteroids in TypeScript. Last time we added a single bullet to our screen. We're gonna expand that today to have a canon class and also take a look at how to dynamically add new entities and remove entities. We're gonna use that logic for the bullets today and see how it goes. Okay, I'm gonna jump back to my code editor and let's go to the game class. And last time we defined some entities here on the game class itself. So when we define the new canon class right now, right, what we want to have is that it needs access to this bullets array, right? So it can add new bullets to it. And we want to be able to pass pretty much all the entities down to the actual entity update functions. So whenever they do any logic around the game, they are able to mutate those entity collections, right? So first what we can do is we can pack these all together into one entities collection class and then pass that around instead of passing either the whole game class or passing these individually to our update functions, right? So what I want to have is something like this, and not on this one. So for here I want to pass in something like this dot entities, right? And same here, same here. So if there is any logic, so for example in bullet, right, in this game a bullet only stays for some time and it goes some distance, and after that, or if you collide with something, it should destroy itself, right? So the bullet behavior should mutate the entity collection to remove itself, right? So this is what we want to have. So let's define this dot entities here. So we will say private entities as a new class. Let's call it entity collection, and let me create a new file called entities. Yeah, that's fine. And then I'll create a new class called export class entity collection, and in here I'll have the same thing I had over there. So I go back to my game, copy this, paste that here, import import this, import that, import this, and then define a constructor. We don't have anything. Maybe the ship we will take is as part of the constructor, because ship should always be there. But let's come back to that. So first I'm gonna define some sort of accessor, right? Like let's say I define a function that gives me all entities. So what we can have is this generator function. So if you know, in JavaScript we can use this asterisk before the function name to define a generator. So the signature of that is like this, right? It will be that, and we can iterate over so since this is a collection, we want to iterate over each asteroid as well. So you can do yield star, and you can do the same thing for bullets, right? And we can define other accessors here. For example, you can say give me just non-bullet items. So you can do things like just that, and maybe that'll be useful for like when you do collision detection, right? When you loop over all the bullets, you want to be able to find all the non-bullets, right? So it's easier to just iterate over them here, right? but we don't need that right now, so I think all is good enough. Let's see. Yeah, we can make these public as well, and we can define them to be empty. Ship, we can take it as a constructor. Let me say it as ship. Okay. Say ship. Say this dot ship is equal to ship. Why does it say file exists? Let me just copy all this first, and let's see what it has. Okay, nothing. Okay, this looks good. Now I'm gonna go back to game, get rid of this, and import that, and then I can say here this dot entities is equal to new entity collection, and pass in our player. It doesn't have to be this anymore because it will be just that. We don't need those, so we don't need this. We can just say player, and yeah, just to replicate this logic we can say entities, this dot entities. Okay, and yeah, for here now, since we have an since we have an iterator, right, defined, we can just say this dot entities. We can actually loop over that. We can say for const entity of this dot entities dot all. We can say entity dot update tt now, and we will pass in the collection. Yeah, we need to update the signature. We will do that in a moment. Do the same thing here. We will get rid of all of this. Should be draw. We don't need this, it should just be context. Okay, looks good. Now we will go to the entity type and change the update signature to have entity collection. Now we will need to update our entities. So first let's start with player. Go to update, we will say entity collection, and let's go to asteroid. We'll do the same thing here. And then we'll go to bullet. Add that here. Okay, now everything should be working as is. Go back. Let's double check. Okay, yeah, Looks good. Now what we want to have is something that shoots bullets, right? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is go to the ship first and define some sort of position where we can shoot the bullets from, right? So for our player ship, we will just choose the tip to be the cannon location, right? So we will create a new cannon and we will give it that position. So let's say get spawn location, or we can also do this. So spawn location would be whatever the direction we are facing, and you want to scale that with our player height divided by 2, right? Player, wait, ship height, is it? Wait, where did we define that? Okay, we didn't define that anywhere. No, it's right here. So let's move this up. So I'm gonna first rename it to ship height and then rename this to ship width, and I'm gonna move that here. Now I've been using player something as a name before, but now it's called ship. Let me just rename all these. Okay, and wait, I can just do does that work? Okay, that works. Okay, back to the spawn location. We will scale that by our not player ship height divided by 2, because we take it from the middle. We might give it some extra value, maybe some offset. Let's say, I don't know, 10. Okay, we say return should be a vec2. Okay, a spawn location. Now let's create a cannon. Let's go back, create a new file called shooting. Yeah, that's fine. We will say export class cannon, and what does cannon need? The cannon needs well, actually it needs an owner. So we'll first give it entity. Why can't I import entity? Okay, and what else does it need? It also needs fire rate. But let's come back to that after. Let's just have cannon for now. Then we will say we can just do this. Okay, now let's define a shoot method. Then also let's define an update method similar to entity. So we will say dt now number and entities, right? Okay, so whenever we give it some input to the ship, it will invoke the shoot function on the cannon. So what does shoot need? So shoot will need so what we want to know about the bullet, right? We just want to know which way the bullet needs to go. So the spawn location will give us the position, and then we just need a velocity, right? So we can have the spawn location, or we can say bullet spawn location to be vec2, and then we can say direction. Since the speed of bullets is fixed, we can just get it. We don't need the velocity, we can just have the direction, and we can define bullet speed here to be, I don't know, 1 for now. Let's see. Okay, let's define some member variables here. We will say okay, so we will store that here with the possible null values, and then every time you shoot, we define it to be this dot bullet spawn location is equal to bullet spawn location, and then this dot dir equals dir. Okay, and since we only have like one instance of a bullet, like this information corresponds to one bullet, right? So this just means that every frame you can only shoot one bullet per entity, right? Like per cannon, which is fine in this case, because I think we can only shoot like 4 bullets in Asteroids, the game, at any given moment. We want to also have some flag here, so we can say that now we can shoot. And yeah, okay, so let's go here. So we can say if we can shoot, or we have the go ahead to, I mean, if we have a signal from the player that we want to shoot, and we also gotta do bullet spawn location just to satisfy TypeScript. And then we can say, I mean, the easiest thing we can do is we can just do entities dot bullets dot push some bullet. We can create a new bullet here. So what does it need? Position and a velocity. So position will be this dot bullet spawn location, and velocity will be, we can take the direction and scale that by bullet speed. Okay, let's try this first. Oh, we have a same name for the member variable and the function. So let's say we can change this to can shoot, not can shoot, let's say is shooting. Okay, that's fine. And bullets don't have an owner yet, right? Yeah, so we wanna be able to use this owner. And then once you shoot, you want to flip the flag to false, right? Okay, now let's use this cannon in our player. We will say here cannon is cannon, and we can say this dot cannon is equal to new cannon. What does it need? Needs owner. So we can say this, and you want to bind the input as well, so we can say this dot input dot no, we don't need to bind it, we can just do it here. We can say if this dot input dot is key down key dot space, then we can say this dot cannon dot shoot. And we can say spawn location and this dot dir. Okay, let's try that. I've got rid of the existing bullet. Get rid of this. See if anything happens. Nothing happens, of course. Okay, let's see. Go to ship. Let's first check if we are even coming in here. So first say key down space. Now come in here. Oh wait, we gotta do update, right? Of course. Go to ship. Where is the update function? So in here I will say this dot cannon dot update dt now entities. Okay, should we have it all the way up here? No, because then afterwards if you register the input, you gotta wait another frame. You gotta wait another frame to actually do the shooting, right? So what we want to do here instead is you check for the key down, and then you can update it right away. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, I see a lot of bullets, and I don't know where they're shooting from. They're shooting from the top left corner. So let's update our spawn location first. Let's go to spawn location. Wait, yeah, of course we need to first add our position. This dot pause. Try it again. Okay. Yeah, but we're shooting way too fast, and we're not also clearing the bullets. So let's fix the shoot interval first. We'll go back to cannon. And let me do that here first. I'll fix this warning. Okay, now in here I will say bullet fire rate in milliseconds. Let's say 500, and yeah, come in here. Wait, we gotta track the last fire. So we will say last fire time equals 0. And then we gotta update last fire time. This dot last fire time is equal to now. And we also gotta check if, let's say, we will compute the interval to now minus this dot last fire time. We will say if interval is greater than bullet fire rate, then we can shoot, right? Move this here. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Let's try it again. Wait, I can't tell if it's shooting at the same time or, well, first let's decrease the velocity. It's moving way too fast. So I'll come in here, I'll just make it very, very small. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the one problem is that if we holding the space button, it keeps shooting, right? But in the original game, you have to press it again and again. You have to lift the key. You can't hold it down. We will come back to that later. But let's fix. Let's try to delete these bullets now. Okay, first I'm gonna give it a little bit more velocity. Let's say 0.3. And in the original game, what happens is, right, like so, if you're in the middle, right, you can the amount of distance the bullet travels is like the diagonal of the screen. So you can, if you're in the right in the middle of the screen and you shoot to the one of the corners, then the bullet reaches there. Otherwise, if you shoot, let's say, straight to the right, then it's gonna wrap back and come around here, right? And the distance it travels is exactly the diagonal from the middle of the screen to the corner. So let's define that constraint on the bullet. So let's see, we will reuse the owner later when the bullet supports it. Yeah, let's first define that distance. So we will say bullet travel, bullet max travel distance is equal to, so we can calculate that by just using the vector from the top left corner to the middle and just taking that magnitude. That will be the easiest way to compute it. We can say width by 2, height by 2, magnitude. And then in our bullet update, we can say we will track the distance. We can say dist is just some scalar value number, and every time we do some update, we can say this dot dist plus equals this dot velocity dot scale delta time. and dot magnitude, and then if this dot dist is greater than bullet max travel distance, you want to kill this bullet, right? So we can say entities, let me remove the underscore, entities. I mean, for now we can just remove from the bullets collection directly, but I want to have some sort of function on the entities collection itself to remove some entity. So let's just add that now. We go back to the entity collection, we just say remove some entity, and we will say if we can say this dot bullets is equal to this dot bullets dot filter, b dot, right, b is equal to entity, it's not equal to entity, so keep all the bullets that are not this entity. We'll do the same thing for asteroids. Let's just call them X. Okay. And what happens if you pass in the player ship? I will handle that later. Let's add a to-do for that. So that should only happen when you actually die, right? And in the game we have few lives, but after those few lives we should just see the game over screen. But we'll keep that to-do here. We'll see if we need that later. Okay, let's go back to now the ship. Oh no, the bullet. And then we will do entities dot remove this. Yeah, so we will say this dot dist equals 0 to fix that error, and we can keep it as greater than. Okay, let's try that. So if I go right to the middle, well, it's gonna be hard, so let's go to game first and make our player right in the middle. Can I just define some vector on the view that just gives me the center? So I'll say new vector2 width height center. Now I will go back to bullet first, use center. Actually it needs to be by 2, forgot that. Okay, go back. Wait, let's get rid of these. Go back to not bullet, was a game. Yeah, so in here we will just say center dot copy. Do we not have a copy on the vector? We don't. Let's add that. We don't want to modify the original object, So we will say return new vec2 this.x this.y. Go back. Now kill the velocity. Okay, now if I rotate, let's shoot it to the side. Okay, that looks okay. So if I shoot to the corner, yeah, it doesn't show up in the bottom corner. I mean, because I can't shoot exactly to the corner. Yeah, that looks okay. Now we can shoot around. And we can make it the bullets a little bit faster. But that's pretty much it. We'll take a look at like immediate input rather than like you just being able to hold down the space key. You want to be able to press it again and again. We'll take a look at that next time. Okay, thanks for watching guys. See you next time.